Hello, Capsuleers from around the world. This is CCB Fozzie, joined by Elise Randolph for today, and we are bringing you the second day of the 12th Alliance tournament. Why don't you say hello to everyone, Elise?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is day 2. We're starting off with Fearless Empire versus Rote Kapelle. Rote will be in blue, Fearless will be in red.
And we have two really interesting setups here. Rote Kapelle bringing what has become their trademark over recent tournaments, lots and lots of nuding power. They've got double Armageddon, double Eos, an Eros Celestis, piloted by former CSM member Rip Teg, triple Tawar, triple Kestrel. And they're up against what is really an update on the traditional Minmatar rush from Fearless Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Fearless brought a Sleipnir team as their core, supported by Worms, which have a great tournament track record today. Or this week, and Caracols, which are really great anti-support ships.
Mm-hmm. Now, both sides have come in sort of spread out with some of their close or heavy ships in close, and already the match has begun with a very, very fast knocking off the field of one of the Kestrels for Rote Kapelle. Fearless Empire getting the first blood immediately.
Indeed, and Rote is focusing on these Worms, but this Worm by Kane is tanking really hard, but bam, poof goes a Caracol and a Worm all in one shot. Mm. These drones are nothing to mess with.
Yeah, knocking off the Caracols and Worms early means it's a lot of the vulnerable DPS from the Fearless Empire. The Sleipnirs are going to take a lot of pounding before they go down, but the Caracols and Worms are going to be much, much easier to take down. And they've also got newts across all of the Sleipnirs. These Armageddons have their newts applied to them, which means that as time goes on, they're going to lose their gang links, as we see now the Scimitar for Fearless Empire dropping as well. Very, very fast.
That is a bit of a disaster. Rote Kapelle made the right choice and went straight for the Fearless Scimitar, and it dropped like a sack of potatoes, which is not good. It was damped, so it had to come in close. Unfortunately, when it came in close, it ate a little bit of pain. And now Fearless are just going straight for this Geddon, thinking they can just plow through it with the DPS they have. Maybe it'll work.
It's possible, but the Geddon isn't going down very quickly at all. They've actually got split fire. We're seeing damage to both of the Geddons. Pretty significant damage, actually. They're both eating into armor a little bit, but that's not what you want to be doing. You need to focus your damage to be able to get through the reps of this Aneros.
Yeah, this is quickly turning into a bit of a disaster for this poor Fearless Empire team. Rote looking pretty good with this setup. I mean, it's a setup that you would expect them to bring. But hey, they're executing with it, right?
They executed with it very well. The very fast kills of the Caracol and Worm, and then hitting that Scimitar right away, and while keeping their Aneros alive. I mean, they're up against some very fast tackle and DPS in the Worms and the Caracols, and those would be ships that would be very dangerous to Aneros. But the Aneros pilot was able to keep himself out of danger, as we see the first Sleipnir drop for Fearless Empire.
Yeah, this is all but over, unfortunately. It looks like Rote only lost one ship, and that was the one that accidentally warped to the beacon at 0. This setup by Rote, so smart. Like, the execution, so smart. Everything about it. I don't know how Fearless could have done any more than they did.
Yeah, I mean, Fearless brought ships that aren't too vulnerable to newts, to their credit. If they expected to have some Armageddons up against them, bringing Sleipnirs and Caracols and Worms is a pretty decent choice. But unfortunately, when you lose your Scimitar that quickly, there's just nothing you can do against the DPS of 2 Eoses and 2 Armageddons.
Yeah, I mean, Fearless had the right idea. They had a carries to counter damp that Celestis, but these armor Kestrels, you gotta assume that there's a bunch of damps in the mid slots of these things. So even it looks like they only have one damp ship, they've got some secret hidden damp ships in these Kestrels.
Yeah, and you can actually see the control bar for Rote Kapelle, as they only have one Caracol to focus on, is actually right up to the edge of the chart. They have a ton of damps on this Caracol, and I'm sure his lock range is like 2 kilometers at the moment. As GFs go up in local, there's no way that he's going to even be able to get a revenge kill on a frigate before he goes down.
Well, very quick first match, but it was still a good showing by Rote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fast execution, picking their primaries very well, recognizing when the Scimitar was vulnerable. They obviously had a good target caller behind the helm, and they'd obviously practiced this setup quite well.
Yeah, for sure. And their flagship is the Geddon, I think. So maybe they've got like a steroid out version of this team for later on in the match.
Yeah, I mean, if the Fearless Empire had been expecting newts, they might have tried to ban out the Armageddon, which they didn't. They ended up banning the Ishtar and the Dominix instead. But if they had banned the Armageddon, that might have actually just triggered Rote to bring in their flagship instead, because flagships are immune to bans.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder how the dynamic changes with only one Geddon on this team, even if it's a Super Geddon.
Yeah, well, that might be something we'll get to see if Rote is confident in this setup going forward. They might bring it again in the future, and they might try to bring it with the flagship, and we could get a look at that. But in the meantime, that is the end of the match, and that Rote Kapelle will go on through the winners bracket, and Fearless Empire will be knocked into elimination matches next week. We're going to send you to some player ads, and then be back in just a few minutes for Noir Mercenary Group versus Scum.